Hello and welcome to another edition of Mailbag. What is Mailbag? Well, Mailbag is a feature of the channel where you guys leave lots of comments on the channel and I attempt to answer those comments, or if I can't answer those comments, I throw it out to you guys who have more knowledge on some of this stuff than I do. So let's get into the first mailbag of this session. Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Instagram and follow me there. Go over to Facebook, follow me there. That's where the normal notices are. And consider becoming a Patreon. Next comment or question comes from Resynthesizer and a bunch of numbers. And Resynthesizer Oaks love the Muse receptor. Well, that was in the background of this particular video. I'm considering a PG-10, but darn, they've gotten expensive. Looking for Windows 3.1 95 software, but haven't had much luck. Okay. Well, funny enough, and I did this actually wasn't planned, but that is a PG-10. There you go. You can see it if I take my fingers off the. There you go. And the reason why that's in here is simply because it happened to be on a shelf in there, which you can't see because it's slightly off screen. When I put all the stuff away in storage, and when I pulled this back, that's where it was. And it just happens to be that I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the PG-10 yet. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the PG-1000 either. So it's here. Anyway, that's by the by. But what I would say, and what I have noticed recently, that the prices of sort of kind of ancillary bits and bobs has really started to rocket. And I wonder whether that's because people like me say these are great things, and then people who watch videos of idiots like me turn around and say, maybe I should be going and buying one of those. And then people start pumping prices up, and that kind of really annoys me, and I do apologise if I am the cause of it. Hopefully I wasn't, because not a lot of people watch me. Well, 4,000 of you subscribe to me, but but what I have found is they have increased, and I still find hardware programmers the best if you're playing with the synth at the same time. I find, I mean, that is obviously, that's designed for the D-10, the D-20 and the D-110, and what I find really great about that is that you just plug it in. You plug it in, as long as you get your MIDI cable set up in the right way, you plug it in and it just works. You know, there's no having to reconfigure it, there's no having to do things, it just works. That was how it was designed to work. That's how it was designed to work on the D-50. Now, the downside is that once you've made a sound using this thing, then you've got to back it up. So you've got to sysx dump the memory, because this thing doesn't retain the sound. The sound is retained by the memory of the synth. And of course, if you do any factory reset or anything like that, and you haven't backed it up to your computer, either using a standard sysx dump or one of the mini librarians that were around at the time, you lose it, and that's a bit of a pain. But in terms of, I would say, creativity, I find that easy. You can get, there are web editors that you can use that are on things like your iPad and your computer and what have you. The reason I'm not a great fan of those is because you have to open so much stuff up on your computer to make them work. You don't know what they're doing in the background. And that, for me, working in IT, is a bit of a no-no. You don't ever open up the back of, you know, the security of your machine, because, as I say, you don't know what's going on in the background, who's getting a hold of your machine, your webcam, personal details, you name it. And a lot of people sort of like, you know, just go and gung-ho into this. And I get it on the channel, you should be using da-da-da. And I go, yeah, fine. maybe I should be using da da da, but I don't know the provenance of da da da, and therefore unless I can prove actually what it's doing, and on some of the tools I have sat down and done a port sniff, and a friend of mine's looked at what's going backwards and forwards and said, yeah, it all looks okay, but you just don't know. This common question comes from user LW8DR6. I don't know what these usernames are like, but it was a comment from user something or other in response to love both the Yamaha SY77 and 99. You should keep the Roland D20. Sorry, D70, not D20. It's me quickly reading my notes. And user writes, so how does the SY77 internal sequencer compare with the sequencer in the Korg M1? Which is better, or which is easier? I like making songs in the keyboard's internal sequencer without a computer. Now this is kind of a difficult question to answer, because there's not really a direct comparison. A sequencer is a sequencer, okay, but it's how the sequencer works is kind of the nub here. And the sequencers on the 77 and the Korg M1 do things slightly differently. So for example, the Korg M1 has an 8-track sequencer, can cope with 10 songs of 250 bars per song, and a total note capacity of 7,700 notes. The SY77, on the other hand, is a 15-track sequencer, not 8, plus it also has the ability to store a pattern track. You can only record one song in it, but that song can have 16,000 notes associated with it. So automatically you've got a difference between how these two sequencers work. One, you can have multiple tracks in your sequence at any one point in time. The other, you can only have one track in there, but it's more functional in terms of the amount of tracks you can put into it. So that's the first thing. The second big difference is the way the Korg works. The Korg works on recording songs on a bar by bar basis, whereas the Yamaha is designed to work on a more step real-time recording basis. Okay, so the way you work with the sequencer is different. If you want to program in a step-by-step song step by step, the Yamaha is probably more orientated towards that, whereas the Korg is orientated to more recording a bar, saving a bar, recording a bar, saving a bar. So if you need more tracks and more notes, the Yamaha sequencer will be better. If you work in a more real-time or a steppy process, maybe the Yamaha is better. Horses for courses. They were issued at slightly different times. That's probably what I would say. The Korg was first to market. The Yamaha came after it. The architectures of both synthesizers are different, hence the reason why the sequencers are different.